two major threats posed by mobile apps are malware and approved apps that snoop beyond the areas they need to provide functionality. Hackers love smartphones because they can create apps that look like they do one thing, but in fact install malicious code in the background which can be used to steal your identity, dispatch texts to premium numbers, seize your bank account, wipe your phone's data, or lock up and kill your device altogether. You may think you're just installing a flashlight or a game, but you could be installing code that enables hackers to spy on you, distribute unintended messages, or infect your device with a virus. But malware is not the only threat. Even the most popular apps also do plenty of legal snooping into much more than the information they really need to make themselves useful. They collect all kinds of information, most of it with your permission, and use it to entice developers to build more apps and package it as information for advertisers. So there are two big threats: malicious apps and legal apps that collect more information than they need. Malicious apps are illegal apps created by criminals to steal information or money. Legal apps that snoop are used to collect information about you that can be sold to advertisers and could also be used as evidence against you in a legal dispute. As media scholar Marshall McLuhan said years before social media was invented, publication is a self-invasion of privacy. Mobile apps that collect and share information about you are constantly publishing in the background, and in this respect have the ability to invade your privacy as well. The easiest way to prevent this self-invasion is to switch off your smartphone. Otherwise, it's always going to be publishing in the background. Malicious mobile apps are called mobile malware, and they're on the rise. Mobile malware grew 614% in 2013, according to a report from Juniper Networks, and Android devices are more vulnerable to malware than iPhone. 92% of all malware is targeted at Android devices, and most mobile malware apps can access your phone's payment services and send electronic payments. By the way, these figures don't include the apps that legally snoop, lifting and storing information they don't need from your mobile phone. One way to protect an Android device against malware is to always make sure it's running the latest version of the Android mobile operating system. Believe it or not, only 4% of Android devices run on the most current software release, which would safeguard users against the majority of mobile security threats. But whether you have an Android or an iPhone, you should always keep your apps up to date to minimize the threat of a security breach. Android may be more susceptible to malware, but iPhone gives up more of your personal information legally than Android. iPhone apps are riskier because they're equipped with riskier features, according to a study by Authority, which scored top free and paid apps. Overall, iPhone apps are bigger snoops than Android apps. 90% of the top free apps and 99% of the top paid iPhone apps can determine your identity, according to the same report by Authority, which means they have the wherewithal to collect your identity, demographic, and psychographic behavior and sell it to advertisers. Android apps do this as well, although not quite as badly, the report says. But whether it's an Android or iPhone app, free apps are going to be riskier than paid apps because they're more likely to track your location, access your calendar and address book, and report your identity to the app provider. 95% of top free apps exhibit at least one risky behavior versus 78% of the top paid apps, regardless of the mobile operating system. So remember, when you authorize an app on a mobile device, you're allowing that app to not only perform its functions, but also to access information like your calendar, contacts, and location. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Vine are mobile apps that read your address book and track your location. The Wall Street Journal has an interactive page where you can see what type of data you transmit to the 101 most popular iPhone and Android apps when you use them. When you access an app, that app can access data on your device and send it to whoever made the app and to whoever else they may want to share it with. As more and more employees bring their own devices to work, Mobile attacks are getting more sophisticated, and there have been instances where mobile apps were used to steal sensitive corporate data and other large-scale intrusions. Research shows that 3.1% of enterprise mobile devices are already infected with malware.